This is the iFootage Gazelle Uprise TA6S tripod, and it has been my go-to set of sticks for the past number of years. But would I recommend it today? Is it worth it? Out of all video equipment, tripods seem to have one of the largest ranges when it comes to budget, anywhere from $20 and all the way up to $4,000. In the grand scheme of things, the Gazelle is actually quite affordable for this size of tripod at just under $190 for the aluminum version, which is what I have. There's also a carbon fiber version that is a little bit lighter, but also way more expensive at around $309 US. This is the price for just the legs and the body of the tripod. It doesn't include the head, so if you want, well, you're going to need, of course, a tripod head. You can make that decision on your own and go for something separate. You've got to buy that separately. Now, when it comes down to choosing the aluminum tripod versus the carbon fiber one, unless you're traveling a lot and you need to hit a certain weight for your luggage and to keep those traveling expenses down, or you want to backpack this and you're carrying it for long periods of time, I would just recommend going with the aluminum version because it is so much cheaper, and all of the same features on the carbon fiber version are on the aluminum version. That said, up to you. Are you a carbon fiber fanboy? Let me know down in the comments. The Gazelle comes in a nice carrying case that fits it absolutely perfectly, and the case is actually expandable to fit the additional length of a tripod head. Well, at least some tripod heads. I have kind of like a really beefy Manfrotto fluid head that doesn't fit in here at all. I think that the Komodo fluid head from iFootage would actually fit in here perfectly, but it's just something worth noting that if you do have one of the bulkier ones, it's not gonna fit. That's cool, but that's all just kind of superfluous fluff. It's nice, but not the most important thing. We gotta look at the sticks. So let's go over the features from top to bottom. There's a quick level bowl on the top with a built-in bubble level. By pulling this latch open, the bowl is loosened up and you can level your camera no matter how unlevel the sticks are, and then just pushing this latch closed again will tighten it up and lock it in place. The dial lever twist thing below this bowl clamp, I don't really know what to call it. This is the thing that adjusts or controls the raise of the center beam of the tripod, which is the Gazelle's most interesting feature. Loosening this clamp allows you to adjust the height of the center beam up and down, giving you some simple, very fast height adjustments without having to worry about messing with the tripod legs. When extended all the way up, it gives you about extra 2 feet or so of height, but when retracted all the way down, the entire thing can be removed by twisting this little dial at the bottom of the center beam. This gives you some extra clearance room beneath the tripod so you can adjust the legs all the way out and get the tripod super low to the ground. If this setting still isn't low enough for you, the entire center beam can be completely removed with the head of the tripod and inverted, allowing you to have an underslung mode where your camera can be inverted, hung upside down, and gotten within millimeters of the ground. I've never seen any other tripod do this. Having this level of flexibility when shooting is absolutely incredible. It's really important not to be limited by your tools in production as well as in post-production, which is why I use Epidemic sound to soundtrack all of my videos. There's a lot of restriction-free music licensing sites out there. Believe me, I know, I have tried them all, and none of them compare even closely to the flexibility that Epidemic Sound provides video editors like me. With over 40,000 songs and 90,000 sound effects to choose from, I've always been able to find something new and fresh that fits my videos perfectly. But that's just where the process starts, because Epidemic Sound provides stems for all their songs, which allows me to retime and re-edit all of the different elements of the songs, whether that be the melody or the drums, which results in me producing the highest quality content possible for both my own videos and for my clients. I have a link down in the description that'll give you a free week of Epidemic Sound to try it out and see what I'm talking about. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. This is the site that I've been using for years, long before they decided to start sponsoring my videos. So thank you to Epidemic Sound for holding down the fort here with some amazing music. Now let's talk about holding down the tripod. When set up as normal, there's a hook on the bottom of the center beam made for hanging a sandbag. At first I was skeptical whether this would actually hold the weight of a backpack or a sandbag, but over time I've used it over and over again and it has still never failed me. This is a great way to weigh down your tripod and not have to worry about it blowing over with a strong gust of wind or being accidentally easily knocked over with your thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment on the top of it. The tripod legs extend one at a time with 2 sections each. The clamping mechanisms used to lock the legs are very smooth and don't take a whole lot of force to get closed and to stay closed, but they are still incredibly strong. Even after years of use in all sorts of terrain, these clamps have not shown really any signs of wear and tear whatsoever. The feet of the tripod have rubber pads to protect the floor and to provide some traction, but if you twist the feet to the clockwise direction, it'll actually reveal some stainless steel spikes on the bottom that help provide more traction in wet or icy conditions if you're out in the elements. I've only used these once or twice, but it's still a nice little added feature. The legs can be spread out at 3 different angles: 22 degrees, 55 degrees, and 80 degrees. To adjust the spread, a tab is pulled out near the joint, allowing the leg to move freely. When you reach the 80-degree point, it will automatically snap back into place, stopping the leg from going any further, but you can continue to reduce the angle of the spread and the locking tab will ratchet along as you go, keeping the tripod safely locked in place. The Gazelle TA6 can ride as low as 7.7 inches above the ground, or be extended all the way up to 5 foot 4 inches, which is the full range of what any normal production would require. Plus it folds down into about 25 inches in length for transportation and storage, which is pretty small. This makes it a great option for traveling cinematographers and anybody who wants the full range of tripod height in a small but sturdy package. The sturdiness of this product is of course due to the well-engineered design, but also to the quality of the materials that go into it. The aluminum legs are strong without being overly heavy, and the stainless steel bolts and legs keep the tripod from rusting when it comes into contact with water in sort of rougher environments. All of the joints on the tripod have this nice tension to them when it comes to moving them around and setting it up, which just makes setting up the tripod so much more enjoyable when they're not swinging around all loosey-goosey. I've used tripods like that. It's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. After years of using it, the only joint that I've actually had kind of come loose is this ball head adjustment, because you're kind of messing with this one the most, so it makes sense. But iFootage included a tool on the actual tripod to tighten up all of the bolts that are made easily accessible, so in the case that they do loosen up with the kind of wear and tear over time, you can just go ahead and tighten them, get them back to feeling and acting like new. And this clip, when you're done with it, it just snaps right onto the leg of the tripod and stays there until you need to use it again. It's small, it's out of the way, and it's just a really, really well thought out design. iFootage really thought of everything with this tripod, and even after having used it for years, I still highly recommend it to anybody. I've used Manfrotto tripods that are bigger and heavier and far more expensive, and none of them really compare to this Gazelle tripod. It honestly outperforms them in practically every way, and it's way less expensive. So whether you're a serious filmmaker, a photographer, or a YouTuber like me, this is your go-to. I highly recommend it. Now, if you're looking at this tripod review because you're building a studio and you want some backlighting and get something that looks super cool like what I'm using here, you should check out this video where I reviewed these lights, my favorite background tube lights. You might like what you see.